Hey everybody, thank you for coming and viewing my vlog again. It's been a while. I've kind of gone through a lot the past couple weeks, but I kind of wanted to give you, oh, here's my kitty cat. Say hello to my fat cat. He's a good kitty. He's hungry, so he's bothering me. I've gone through a lot the last couple weeks. I'm not going to really elaborate what I've gone through, but I'm just gonna the best thing I can say, it's enough to make anyone go insane. It really is. It's been hard. There's been a lot of times where I've been alone and lonely and thinking and trying to reevaluate my life and things like that. But I wanted to take the time today. I don't really have a whole lot of topics to talk about. There's some things I will cover, but I wanted to really just kind of take the time to tell all of you that never ever settle for anything less than what you believe that you should have in your life. Throughout my life, I have really settled for, things and people and jobs and all kinds of different things that, I probably shouldn't have settled for. If I would have sat down and just thought about things for a while, I could probably come up to a logical conclusion, of what I should have done. But really, the best thing that I can say is don't ever settle for anything less than what you think that you deserve. And always fight for what you think that you should have. Obviously, not everybody is going to be able to have $5 million, But there's nothing wrong with trying to go out and earn that $5 million. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't go out and try to rob a bank. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with having a goal. If you want to retire, if you want to eventually in your life be a millionaire, fight for that goal. Go after it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And don't let anybody try to sway you into doing anything differently. If you have goals, try your damnedest to achieve them. But also, don't let anybody degrade you, devalue you, or devalue your life, your career, anything. Don't let anybody do that to you. Don't put up with any bullshit. I've reevaluated. I guess I could say I reevaluated my life. I mean, it wasn't a very long time to do it, but I've had a lot of people in my life that have been very negative, that have constantly degraded me, that have told me I'm not going to amount to anything in life. Everything that I've tried to do or tried to achieve, they have constantly put it down. There's constantly people every day, and I just posted on Facebook about this. Every morning that I log into Facebook, as soon as I get out of bed, I check my Facebook, I check my emails, I'm constantly getting all kinds of different important things that I want to make sure that I cover or see in an ample amount of time. Whether it be emails from you guys or whether it be Facebook messages from you guys, things like that. But more often than not, I always get very negative and degrading remarks from people. Or people just in general, just trying to start shit between myself and other people in my life. And the best thing that I can say is just don't let that happen. I've adopted a new policy that if anybody does that in my life, they're completely shut out. You're not my friend. You're not my friend if you take time out of my day, which I consider very valuable because we only live once. If you take time out of my day and your day, I don't know how valuable your time is, but if you're taking time out of your day to degrade other people, I mean, what does that say about your life? And I'm not going to take my valuable time to sit there and acknowledge it and respond to it. It's not worth it. And I'm tired of having to live a life where I constantly have to look over my shoulder, or I have to worry about what other people are saying about me. Or I honestly, right now, I'm to the point where I don't give a shit, and I'm not going to allow you to ruin my life. And I'm not going to allow you to ruin anything that I try to achieve, or anything that I am trying to get in my life as far as a career, anything. And my suggestion to all of you out there is, don't let anybody do that to you. Your life is too valuable to be constantly degraded, devalued, and, you know, constant barriers in your life that keep you from achieving the things that you want to achieve. I am no motivational speaker. I am not a life coach. But I thought that it would be very important to cover those two topics to start off this vlog. Something else that I wanted to talk about, and news related, we just came off of a fantastic WrestleMania. Myself being a wrestling fan, as well as in the wrestling business as a manager. Excuse me, I give me a drink here. I thought it was absolutely fantastic from the top of the card to the bottom. I wasn't obviously pleased with the women's match, but the way that WrestleMania has been working the last few years, they've got to have a women's match in there so everybody can get up and take a piss or get something to drink or eat. That seems to be the norm. But from top to bottom of the card, it was fantastic. The crowd was energetic. You know, they were into everything. The spectacle of WrestleMania is just, it's unmatched. The only thing that ever came close, in my opinion, was Starrcade WCW. It technically was the second largest pay-per-view as far as between two rivaling companies as far as competition. Nothing's really came close since. But WrestleMania was fantastic. The Raw after, however, I was not impressed with. Now, granted, I don't watch wrestling, but maybe once or twice a month, and that's between TNA and WWE. TNA, not so much. I may catch it once a month. I just cannot get into what they do over there. Just nothing makes sense. But the Raw after WrestleMania, I will have to say, was one of the biggest clusterfucks I've ever seen. And the reason I say that is because Vince has went on record with saying that wrestling managers, or excuse me, not wrestling managers, faces and heels no longer exist. He's basically saying there's no line between them. People just choose who they want to cheer and boo for. And I disagree with that profoundly, because it's not hard to play a heel. Anybody can go out there, say shit, and piss off the fans. But the biggest thing that really kind of set me off about Raw was the Cesaro and Paul Heyman segment, where Cesaro, as a face, is joining up with a heel manager, but he's still a face, and they're cheering a heel manager now. I mean, it didn't make any sense. It was very odd. I don't understand the reasoning behind that, especially since prior to that, Paul Heyman was out basically belittling the crowd and calling them idiots and you know, throwing the book at them. I just did not understand the reasoning behind putting a babyface with the heel manager. I don't get it. Now, again, this is the reasoning behind the whole no heels and faces existing, according to Vince McMahon, saying that this is now the case. Like I said, I profoundly disagree with that. The fans are going to choose who they want to cheer and you know, boo at, but when they start to cheer a heel, the biggest thing that I can say about that is get on the mic or do something that pisses them off so they don't cheer you again. You know, and that can be done because, let's face it, I mean, most of the people, whether they're smart marks or whatever they are, if you say, you can say something that will piss them off. You know, you can find something that is going to piss them off that will get you on their bad side that you can then be a heel again. You know, the clusterfuck that was Raw, just, I mean, you had a woman come and beat the Divas champion that had never been on Raw before, and it was her debut, and she beat the Divas champion for the title. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, she was on NXT, and for those that watch NXT, they know who she is. But there are many people that don't get Hulu or the WWE Network that don't get to watch NXT. So, to me, it doesn't make any sense for somebody that has not been on the show to just debut and beat the champ for the title. I mean, it's no different than somebody coming out of the stands and coming into the ring and beating her for the title. It's no different because the people don't know who that is. The people don't know who this person was. There are some that do. There are some that do and say, oh, well, that's Paige. Well, there's many that do not. There's many kids or people in the stands that are left scratching their head or at home that have no idea who in the fuck she is. So that's kind of what I wanted to really what I want to discuss about WWE, the Raw after WrestleMania. You know, the Raw after just did not make sense to me at all. There was just a clusterfuck. You know, and we just found out today that the Ultimate Warrior had passed away. Actually, we found out last night that he had passed away shortly after leaving his hotel in Arizona. He collapsed and died. It is very, very sad. I grew up watching the Ultimate Warrior. Now, while I wasn't really a fan of his work, I can appreciate all that he has done and the charisma that he had as a performer. He entertained a lot of people. He made that company a lot of money, and he was a fantastic performer. You may not have understood what he was saying, but people were into it, and that's the biggest thing. He made a huge contribution to the wrestling business, and he inspired a lot of people. So it is very, very sad that he was only 54 years old and passed away. So the best thing that I can say, guys, is that, you know, life is short. Take advantage of everything that you've got in your life, and don't let anybody, especially with seeing the Warrior dying, all of these wrestlers dying at young ages, don't let anybody step on you. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. Don't let anybody tell you that your life is less meaningful than another person's or theirs. And the best thing I can say about that, block them out of your life. Whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, you know, real life, delete their names from your phones, don't talk to them again. That's the best thing I can say to do. I've had it my whole life, and it's hurt me tremendously from an emotional standpoint, and it's hurt me sometimes from a career standpoint. And I don't ever want to wish that on anybody. So don't let anybody ever tell you you can't do what you know and believe that you can do. As long as you have the heart and the desire to do it, you can do it. And there's many people in the wrestling business. There's many people out there, whether it be in film or TV or music, that have probably been told they wouldn't amount to anything. And look where they are now. So take that as a little bit of an inspiration, because at one point in time, all of those people were told that they wouldn't amount to anything, and they've proven them all